In this program, I'm going to show you the single most effective way to get Google reviews for your Chimney Sweep business. Not ordinary reviews like most Chimney Sweeps are getting, but well-written, keyword-rich, 5-star Google reviews that cause Google to want to move your listing up in the search results, broaden the area in which they show your listing, and encourage potential customers who read your reviews to want to hire you. Hi, I'm Bob Summers. I'm the creator of something called the Superhero Strategy for getting Google reviews. And in this video, we're going to focus on step 5, making the request. I'm going to show you how to ask for a Google review with the highest level of clarity and confidence so that your customer not only wants to write the review, but they will write the review and they'll be delighted that they took the time to do so. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to quickly demonstrate how you ask for a review. And when I do that, I want you to just listen for how you feel. Does it feel right? Does it feel like something you would be comfortable doing? Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you exactly what I did, each of the 6 steps, and why I did those. I'll also share the consequences of what happens if you do not do those things. And then finally, I'll wrap it up demonstrating how to ask for that review one more time. But this time, you'll be able to see it in a whole new light. It will completely make sense why I did what I did. Now again, before I do any of that, you have to understand this in context. The superhero strategy is very different from anything you've probably ever done before. Superheroes do things differently. Number one, they think in terms of what can I do to make this process as easy and as pleasant as I can for my customers. They're not thinking, what can I do to make this as easy as I can for me? Set it and forget it. I don't want to spend any time on this. No. They focus on how to make it easy and pleasant for their customers. And number 2, they don't focus on what can I do to get more Google reviews than anybody else. They focus on 3 things. What can I do to enhance my relationships with all of my customers and my employees? Yep, employees too. What can I do to generate referrals? Yep, referrals. And number 3, what can I do to generate new business from the Google reviews my customers write? You see, when you focus on what can I do to get more Google reviews and what can I do to make this as easy as possible for me, you're doing it because you're just not awake yet. You've not seen the light. You've not really looked at this entire process through your customer's frame of mind. And in doing so, you do some things that are kind of stupid. For example, you might send an unsolicited email or text message asking your customers to write a review in the email or text. When you do that, you'll get an abysmal response rate. You'll get people that are unhappy giving you low-star ratings. You'll get happy customers clicking on the spam button. You'll also get happy customers giving you a star rating with no written comments, which actually hurts your ability to attract new customers. You know, folks like that don't know any better, they also put links everywhere, all over their website, in their email, in the invoice that goes out. When you do that, it's lazy and nobody clicks on them other than people that are upset. I've also seen people who take a customer's phone before they leave the house, they log into their Google business listing, and then they hand the phone back to the customer and ask them to write a review. Or they hold up a QR code and have them click on the QR code. My goodness gracious, that is so pushy. You may get them to write a review, but they're not going to use you again and they're not going to recommend you to their family and friends. And also, one of the worst things you can do, because you're looking at this through your own eyes, is you remind someone after 3 or 4 days they've not written a review and ask them to do it a second time or a third time. No. You don't need to do that. When you're a superhero and you understand your goal is to generate business, it's not to get Google reviews, and you realize your goal is to enhance relationships, not to ruin them, you will do things very differently. Now that I've taken you through that, step 5 will make a whole lot more sense. Okay, are you ready? So let me demonstrate it and then we'll move on from there. I want to pretend I was at Julie's house and I just cleaned her chimney. So here we go. Hey Julie, are you happy with my work? Is there anything else I can do before I go? Wonderful. Hey, later today or whenever you get a couple of minutes, will you write a review for us on Google about your experience with our Chimney Sweep company? Would you do that for me? Thank you so much. Hey, what I'd like to do to make this really easy for you is I'd like to send you an email that has a link in it that will take you right to our Google review page whenever you get a couple of minutes to write that review. Oh, and if you'd like, Julie, I can send that same link to Google by a text. Would you like me to do that? Wonderful. And then I'm going to send the email and or the text message while I am standing in front of Julie, primarily from my cell phone. And I'm going to look up and say, Julie, thank you so much. That link should be there any minute. I want you to know the owner reads our Google reviews aloud to the whole office every morning. It's such a great way to start the day. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. That's it. Now, there were 6 things that I did here, and you may want to adapt the 6th step based on if you're a one-man band or if you work with a lot of other chimney sweeps. But let's take a look at each of those 6 steps, one after the other, and why they're important. Step 1. Hey, Julie, are you happy with my work? Is there anything else I can do here today? I want to take her temperature. Her response to that question, in my keen observation, just as you have, will tell me if she's happy or not. If she's happy, I'm going to move to step 2. If she's not, I'm going to try to fix it, figure out what I can do to make things better. But if she is happy, alarm bells are going off in my head. Ding, ding, ding. I'm moving to step 2. Step 2 is to clearly ask Julie if she will write a review for me on Google. I'm not going to say, hey, will you write a review? Will you give us some feedback? No. If you do that, what will happen is people will go everywhere other than Google, or they won't write a review. They'll just give you a star rating. So you've got to ask for what you want. And here's what I want. Julie, will you write a review for us on Google about your experience with me and our company today? I want to give her something to write about. And again, if I don't do that, she'll go everywhere else and maybe not write anything at all. Now, when she says sure to that, I'm going to move to step 3. And I get a lot of people giving me resistance on step 3 until they understand why I'm making this recommendation. Step 3 is tell Julie, don't ask. Tell Julie that in order to make things easy for her, you'd like to send her an email. Now, you notice I didn't say text. I didn't say email or text. I said I'd like to send you an email that has a link right to our Google page so you can write that review whenever you get a couple of minutes. Now, why in the world would I recommend an email instead of text? Well, we send thousands and millions, actually, of Google review requests on behalf of thousands of our customers. And when I look at their dashboards and see the results, I can tell you that our customers who send email and text get infinitely better results than our customers that just send text. Now, a lot of people are like, well, texting is the bomb. Everybody texts. But let me give you 2, maybe 3 reasons why email is a big deal. Now remember, here's our goal. How do we get the highest percentage of our happy customers writing well-written Google reviews for us because they want to? And I want to make it as convenient as possible. So when I send someone an email, I want you to think about where they are when they get it compared to text. So you're at home, you get an email and a text. Which do you open first? If you're like most people, you're going to open the text first. But if I ask you to write a review in the text, maybe you're not in a place where you can write that review. You might be driving or having dinner with your kids. And by the way, you shouldn't be opening a text if you're having dinner with your kids. But oftentimes with the text, you're not in a place to write a review. On the other hand, when you get an email, most of us open email when we have time to read our email. And you know what else we have time to do? To write a review. The second reason email is great is we want well-written, keyword-rich reviews because that gives Google more content as to when to show us. For example, I want people writing reviews that have to do with cleaning chimneys, repairing chimneys, sweeping chimneys, cleaning out dryer vents, and things like that. So if I give someone access to a keyboard, which I do when I send an email, they're infinitely more likely to write a better review, a higher keyword-rich review. If they only have access to their phone, they just don't have the ability to have a keyboard. So we know reviews written on computers are generally better. There are other reasons email's the bomb, but those are the 2 big ones. Now, after she says, sure, that would be great, send me the email with the link, then and only then do we go to step 4, where I would ask Julie, if you'd like, I can send this link by text too. Now, why would I do that? There are benefits to text as well. Now, I'm not going to catch her at the best time always. She doesn't have access to a keyboard, but if I send it both ways, there's some really cool things that happen. We know, and you do too, that in order for a customer to write a review, they have to be logged into their Google account. If they're not logged in, Google's going to say, Julie, you need to log in before you can write a review. About 40% of the population is not logged into their account when they click on the link in the email and when they click on the link on their phone, so they have to know their password. So for those people that don't know their password, if I only send it by email, they cannot write a review. This is one of the reasons we suggest and recommend you use some form of review software that gives your customers more than one choice. If not Google, it might be, a Neighborhood or Facebook, or the ability to write a testimonial. However, if I send it by email and text, there's a 40% chance they're not logged in on their phone, but there's a 60% chance they are. So if I send it both ways, I've literally doubled my chances of them being logged in and not having to remember their password. That's a real perk for sending it by text too. The other thing is, and I mentioned earlier, you never ever want to send a reminder. You never want to tell people, I see you didn't write that review, will you do it? So when you send it both ways and you get permission to send that initial email with a link in it both ways, if they open the text and they're not in a place to do it, when they get the email is not a reminder. It's the same first request, which they know is coming. So it's like a reminder without it being a reminder. You also massively enhance your ability to get reviews when you send it both ways. Now, let's go to step 5. And I want to take a quick pregnant pause here before I give you step 5, because it's the most important thing you need to do to get Google reviews. You ready? Pregnant pause. All right, now let me tell you what step 5 is. If you want the vast majority of your customers writing well-written, keyword-rich 5-star Google reviews for you, you are always, and I mean always, going to send the review request while you are standing in front of your customer. If you walk away and send it from the truck, if you call the office and say, hey, send Julie an email or a text with the link in it, they will not write a review. There is some magic that happens when Julie literally sees you send that email and text. Now, I cannot tell you the reason for it. I don't know. But I can tell you, after looking at thousands of dashboards, that the people that send it while they're there get 4 times the response from people that send it just 2 seconds later. So there is no, Bob, it was only 2 seconds. It was only 1 minute later. It makes no difference. They have to see you send it. So when you do that, you'll get 4 times the response. All right, finally, step 6. And this is the one that's a little adaptable based on your business. Step 6 is tell them what you're going to do with that review. Now, if you're a chimney sweep and you work for a bigger chimney sweep company, what you're going to want to say is, Julie, I just sent that link. It should be there any minute. I want you to know the owner reads our Google reviews out loud for everyone in the office, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. That is significantly different than, Julie, the owner reads our Google reviews. So what? Julie, the owner shares our Google reviews. So what? When Julie knows that the owner reads the reviews out loud for everyone to hear, and she knows that there's a massive reward for you when that review is read in your office for you to hear and everyone else, she is infinitely more likely to write a wonderful keyword-rich review talking about you. Now, if you're the owner, you can say, hey, I read our Google reviews aloud to everybody every morning. And it's a great way to start the day. If you're just a one-man band, you might say something even a little different like, Julie, when other customers read your reviews and they have a chance to learn about how we operate through your experience, it makes contacting us and wanting to hire us an easy decision to make. Thank you. You want to tell them what you're going to do with that review. All right, so now that we've looked at those 6 steps, I want to quickly go over the consequences of not doing it. 1, if you don't take their temperature, there's a good chance you're going to get bad reviews. 2, if you don't clearly ask them to go to Google, they'll go anywhere else and maybe they won't write anything. 3, if you don't get their email, you make it more difficult for them to write a nice review, and you're going to catch them when they're not in a place to actually have the time to do it. 4, if you don't get their text, you're not actually sending a reminder that's not a reminder, and you're not giving your customer an opportunity to be logged into Google on 2 different devices. Step 5, if you do not send it while you're standing in front of them, you'll get 1/4 the results you would otherwise. And step 6, if you don't tell them what you're going to do with that review, and it's not a really good reason, they will not write a comprehensive review about their experience. That's why you want to do those 6 things. All right. Now that I've done that, let me go ahead and demonstrate what it sounds like one more time. And I think now you'll have a very different understanding of the process. Here we go. Hey, Julie, were you happy with my work? Is there anything else I can do before I go? Wonderful. Hey, later today, when you get a couple of minutes, will you write a review for us on Google about your experience with my company? Would you do that for us? Thank you so much. Hey, what I'd like to do to make this really easy for you is I'd like to send you an email that has a link in it that will take you right to Google where you can write that review later today. Oh, and if you'd like, Julie, I can send that same link to Google by a text message. Would you like me to do that? Great. Then I'm going to pick up my phone and I'm going to send that link while I am standing in front of Julie. And then I'm going to look up and say, Julie, thank you so much. Those links should be there any minute. You know, the owner reads our Google reviews aloud to the whole office every morning. It's such a great way to start the day. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. And I hope you've gotten some really, really good ideas on what you can do to get more reviews and better reviews and generate new business from the review process. Hey, do me a favor. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. It would mean the world to me. And now, I don't want you sharing it with Chimney Sweeps that are your competitors, but if you know Chimney Sweeps in other communities, it would mean a lot to me. And if you want to learn more about the superhero strategy for getting Google reviews, there's 3 ways I can help you with that. Provide your email below. In doing so, I'll send you little tips and put you on our newsletter where we show you how each of these 9 areas work and how you can apply them to how you're getting Google reviews. Also, we'll also send you our calendar with that email when we do free live programs. So every so often we do a live program going through all 9 steps on the superhero strategy. And it's not a webinar, it's actually a meeting. It's a Zoom meeting. So you can join and participate and ask questions. Also, if you'd like a private session with you and your managers, and you would like us to do a deep dive on your business, looking at your Google business listing, your process of getting reviews, and make recommendations, we also consult with customers all the time. The second thing is, if you'd like to look at the software we use and we recommend that makes it super easy for you to send the links to your customers, and more importantly, it makes it easy for your customers to get to where they need to go and write a review. This particular software we recommend because it was actually designed based on the superhero strategy for getting Google reviews. If you'd like to see a live demo, click on the button before and schedule a demo. Or if you're just all excited, you want to get started, you just have questions, I encourage you to just pick up the phone and give us a call. We are located in Hawaii. I know, tough for us, right? But it's going to be a little later here than it is where you are. So if you're on the East Coast, we're here till 10 o'clock at night. Just give us a call. Tell us what you want to do. We'll happy to give you insight and get you going in the right direction. With that, I really appreciate you, and I hope to hear from you in the near future. Thank you.